Is going on, everybody? Welcome to Brandon's Face. It's the podcast about a playlist. I'm Jonathan Beardsley.
And I am Brandon May.
We have so much to talk about this week. We have a new album to review from Kali Uchis. The Coachella lineup is out. We have new album announcements from Ariana Grande and Justice. A lot is going on in the music world. So let's dive right in, starting with easily the biggest topic in the music world right now, the new Coachella lineup. So rather than just broadly speculate on this one, let's just dive in and kind of see what the names are giving us, Brandon, shall we?
Sure.
All right, Friday's headliner, Lana Del Rey. How you feeling about it?
I think Lana Del Rey will put on a great show for her fans.
Yeah, I think carefully worded there. Yeah, I agree.
People that like her will really love their performance. I almost saw her in 2014, but I've mentioned it a couple of times on the podcast, but that crowd crush was crazy. We did not see her that year, but her fans seem to be rabid about her and her music, and that was 10 years ago. So,
yeah, I think even though you and I are not in her fan base or demographic of fan bases, I guess, she very easily can fill that main stage out. It should be interesting. There definitely won't be a crowd crush at this show. I think a lot of like Coachella excitement with headliners in the past is kind of centered around, if it's not a band, who the special guests are. What aren't we seeing in the lineup? And Lana Del Rey,
right.
She might have a guest or two, but I think that's going to be a pretty straightforward performance, you know?
I think, again, her fans, if she just got up on stage with a stool and smoked a cigarette or a pack of cigarettes while she belted out her songs, her fans would love it. It's kind of the Frank Ocean scenario, right? If he had just gone up on stage and sat down and sang his fucking songs, it would have been lauded as one of the best performances of all time by his fans. And I think the same goes for Lana Del Rey. I think her fans are diehards, you know?
Replace a cigarette with a vape pen, and that is most likely what we are going to see. Moving on, we got Peso Pluma, big Latin act. That one should be a lot of fun. He's on the new Kali Uchis album that we'll talk about a little later. Lil Uzi Vert, never been a fan, much like the Lana Del Rey thing, but I think, like you said, for his fans, he should put on a good show. I've heard nothing else. Justice. Easily one of the biggest names that I know caught your eye and mine. They just announced a new album. We might be getting the first single here in a couple hours. We're recording this Thursday night.
Yes.
How excited are you to see a new Justice performance, to get a new Justice album, all of this?
So Justice is they're part of the big three for me in dance music. It's Daft Punk, Chemical Brothers, and Justice. You know,
the Godfathers.
I think it's fucking wild, man. I'm so excited for the album. I think their performance is going to be off the chain. I think that I've seen them at Coachella, and it was an insane moment. They came out real late, but I think that was due to technical difficulties. But I think I saw them in 2014. No, was it 2013? One of those years.
Probably a little after Woman came out.
No, I think it was before Woman came out, actually. I think
wow.
It was the audio video disco tour, so it might have even been 2012 or something like that. I'll look it up. But yeah, man, that's going to be a fucking crazy performance. Justice is they are Justice.
I think it's going to be a big year for Ed Banger Records as a whole, too.
Yep.
Moving on, we got Bizarre Rap, huge Latin producer. This one is the definition of you do not know who is going to show up. We have a song we'll be talking about produced by him a little bit later with Young Miko, but this guy's worked with everybody in the Latin pop world, Latin hip hop world. You could see Bad Bunny come out at this, Young Miko. The options are endless. That one should be definitely really fun to check out.
Yep.
Deftones, finally, some fucking rock on the card, man. And it should be, I would say, at least a sunset slot, but I think they'll give them a night slot. What do you think?
Yeah, I hope so. They kind of deserve a night slot, but I mean, when you look at it, I mean, it'll probably be Peso Pluma opening for Lana Del Rey on the main stage, Lil Uzi Vert in the Sahara, Justice on outdoor, Bizarre Rap maybe also in the Sahara. I don't know where they're going to be putting Deftones, man. They might get
outdoor
a sunset
stage, but I don't know.
They're wildly popular right now with the Zoomers. So
well, there's a lot more rock and just left field acts on this card that we'll kind of get into as we go. But I think they're a good indication of at least them thinking a little bit outside the box this year.
Right.
ATs, no idea who this is. Do you
No
know?
idea.
Everything Always. This is John Summit back to back with Dom Dalla. Should be a good time. Both of them are performing separately, I believe, throughout the weekend as
I
well.
think that's super fucking lazy, man. I'm not gonna lie.
What? Oh, just booking two
Yeah,
people that are already performing.
right, right.
Yeah. No comment. We got Peggy Gao, who's going to absolutely
Just
steal
destroy
that
it.
day, dude. Kill it.
Yeah, Peggy's gonna destroy it, man.
Young Miko, she should be, I'm guessing, an afternoon main stager. Really, really fun act. If you dive into any of her stuff beyond the song we'll be talking about a little bit later, it's all just so fun, and I think it's going to translate to the festival scene pretty well. Sabrina Carpenter, huge pop act. Really excited to see her get a spot like this. Hope
Yes.
she gets a favorable time slot. What about you?
Yeah, me too. I think she deserves it. She's been working hard, and it's been happening for her. You know.
Agreed. Annie up. This is Chris Lake and
Chris Lorenzo.
okay, okay. Should be fun. I don't know. I'm surprised to see another Chris Lake like back to back on the Coachella stage, but it worked last year, so if that's what people want, give it to them.
Right.
Steve Angelo, professional. This is going to be very, very good.
It'll be a very tight set.
Yeah. Yep. Ken Carson, some new age hip hop. I like some of his stuff. Some of it does not work at all. We'll see. Skepta, grime legend. He's got new music coming out this year. New song later
Crazy
this
get.
month. New album later this year. Sometime, still not a date on that one. But yeah, this is a huge get. I will definitely be tuning into that. Faye Webster, another one I was very excited to see announced. Tyla, we just talked about her EP last week. She
Yep.
is one of the hottest names in R&B right now. Yausabi, do you know this act?
I do not.
Me either. Clone, any idea?
Yes, I've heard the name. I have it. They're on my listen to next, but I have not gotten there yet.
Can confirm they are a music group then.
Yeah.
We got Gorgon City. We've covered their last two albums, I believe. Both were bangers. This should be a really good set, most definitely in the Sahara tent.
Yeah, and I've seen them live twice, and they are a good time. Apparently it's going to be all Gorgon City tracks. I don't think it's a live set with them in the band, so I think it's a DJ set, which lends credence to your theory of them being in the Sahara. I think that'll be a good time.
Got it. Yeah, I think so too. Tinashe, this one's going to be great. Probably a Gobi, something like that. We'll see.
Yep.
Uh, ANOTR, any idea?
A nutter? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a Nutter act. Il Imperatrice, we've covered an EP of theirs on here. Excited to see them on the lineup.
Yeah, and they also produced one of Black Thought's albums last year, I think.
Is is that what happened?
I think so.
I honestly don't know,
I
but
think
that's
so.
pretty cool if that's the case. Suki Waterhouse, a name I have seen a lot. Do not know any of her music though. Do you?
Correct. Nope.
Lovejoy, unfamiliar. You know it?
People have been talking about how crazy of a get it is for Lovejoy, and I've never heard of them. So
Are the kids talking about how crazy of a get
kid,
it is for Lovejoy?
the kids are talking about it, man.
The kids are talking. Vocal legend Brittany Howard will be performing. Her stuff is all high quality. Chapel Rome. This is going to be one of the ones to watch. Weekend one, or day one, I should say.
For sure.
Yeah, excellent debut album last year. Really good performer from all I've heard. I wouldn't know. Tickets sold out here too fast to find out. We got Chloe, some R&B on the card. You know, I'm excited about that. The Japanese House. I've seen this name before. Don't really know their music. Do you?
No, same.
Black Country New Road.
That
I
should
know
be.
you've heard this band a few times.
Yeah, this. Yeah, people wouldn't shut the fuck up about them last year and the year before. I think it'll be a good time, man. I think it'll be a cool show. The singer that they used to have from their album Ants from Up There, I guess, quit. So they have a new singer. You can check him. You can check out what he sounds like on the Live from Bush Hall album.
Sick.
It's pretty good. I mean, look, man, if they're up your alley, they're going to be a good time for you.
Exactly. Adriatic, an artist who is
Oh
very
my
much up
God.
both of our alleys. We found out that Tale of Us Anima would not be performing, which is not a surprise considering he performed last year. This is a good get though, right?
Anima is on the lineup, bro.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I Oh shit.
Right?
Oh, isn't Table of Us playing a show out of the country this
He
weekend?
will be, yeah, they will be, Anima will be flying in from Paris, I think.
That's insane.
That's insane.
The early 2010s DJs flying three venues in one night are back, baby.
Deadmau5
Uh,
did that this year. He played Countdown New Year's Eve and then finished up his night at Time Nightclub in Santa Ana.
God bless him. Blondish, have no idea who this is, you?
I've seen the name like 1,000 times. I've never listened to their music though.
It is not Frank Ocean.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Two big names back to back here, the Beths and Neil
Oh
Francis.
my
Very
god!
excited for both of
Great
those.
gets. For anybody unfamiliar with Neil Francis, just go. It'll be a fucking great dance party.
Couldn't have said it better. Clowncore, no idea who this is.
Clowncore is a great get and will probably be one of the most talked about sets of the weekend. They are a clown themed hardcore band.
I should have guessed that from the name, but I didn't, and now I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
Yeah, they're going to be a good time, man.
Or I'm checking it out based on the gimmick alone for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Mall
Mall
Grab.
Grab?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ma-
Who's
Ma-
that?
We've covered a couple of his songs. Tech House. Really
Okay.
super
That's why it
trendy
sounded
right now.
familiar.
I'm really
Another
excited
artist
about
we
this
have.
next one. Yeah, Kevin
Yeah, we got
DeVries,
a
ex
Kolsch
Kolsch.
and Kevin DeVries, dude. What the hell? When I saw Kolsch's name on here, I was like, it was meant to be, you know?
I'm very excited to see what they do. I just hope that they stream the Yuma. They didn't do that until second weekend last year.
And that's it. That's got Yuma written all over it.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh, Coco Roco? Not familiar with this one.
Never
You?
heard of them.
Earth Eater.
Same,
Narrowhead?
same.
Skin on Skin?
I believe they're an EDM act.
Okay. Inella?
And Nella is actually on This Never Happened or
Oh,
Afterlife, one
hell
of
yeah.
those.
Definitely check that out then. Either
Yep.
way.
Yep.
Late night drive home.
They are an indie rock band. Pretty good music from everything that I've skimmed so far.
I was gonna say, if this is not a shitty indie pop rock band, I'm gonna be
Right.
really
It most
disappointed.
definitely is. Most
Sid
definitely is.
Sariram? Any idea?
Nope.
Sema Funk?
Nope.
Miss Monique?
Nope.
Not even gonna attempt this next one. Ben Sterling?
Ben Sterling is some techno, I believe. That should be a lot of fun.
Love it. Upchuck?
I think they're a punk band. I'm not 100% on that, though.
Keyspan?
Never heard of them.
All right, that caps off Friday. Moving on to Saturday, my favorite headliner of the three that we get, Tyler the fucking Creator. You think we're gonna get some new music this year or a new album before this, or do you think this is just kind of an all-encompassing career performance for him?
I think that a lot. So Tyler was rumored. Lana and Tyler were quote unquote confirmed prior to the lineup drop, and a lot of people were saying, specifically on Reddit, they were saying that Tyler's not a headliner and he sucks live. I don't think that they've seen him or watched any videos of his performances. He is a fucking crazy performer. And even his last Coachella performance was incredible production. I think that was right even before Igor had dropped.
I saw his last tour, and it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in person.
I'm sure. Like I would be extremely surprised if he doesn't put on the headlining performance of the weekend.
Yeah, I would be as well. I think we're gonna get some new music this year. Last album was 2021. That was kind of a mixtape that turned into an album. The deluxe edition tracks came last year, which I imagine a majority of were recorded around that same time. I think he's been in the studio. I know he's been very busy with fashion and stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised if we at least get a new song.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to manifest that a little bit.
It'll be called Coachella Sucks, like what he said on stage last time he performed.
They got to keep the Jenners out of the VIP section, at least where he can see, or else it's not going to go well.
Yeah.
All right, let's go in. Blur, really great sub headliner for Saturday.
Coachella resident Damon Albarn comes back. That's good for him.
Seriously, they just leave his trailer there all
Just
year.
come on, he's got to have a house here or something at this point, right?
Ice Spice probably not going to sound great, but will be a lot of fun for the people that are there and excited for it. It'll be interesting to see how that one ages like 5 years from now, though.
Right.
Giselle Fulstein, very fucking excited for this one. I don't think we have a new album for sure confirmed, but if he's
This
playing, then
kind
it's
of
almost
confirms it,
for
right?
sure. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
it,
he doesn't play unless he has something to play.
yeah, this set's going to be dark and vibey and moody and broody, and I'm all about it.
There's no way he wears the suit again, right? Like he's not going to repeat the suit.
No, you can't repeat the suit. Maybe he does. I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Sublime, notably not with Rome.
So
I
this
think
is a
I've seen
great get. This is a
it.
great get. This is the first public performance. They did a private performance with Bradley's son, Jacob Noel,
Yeah.
at like a private party. Is
Yeah,
it?
that
This is
should
going to
be
be the first
interesting.
public performance. That's fucking tight. That is a huge get.
Yeah. There's a few songs that are gonna send that crowd into a frenzy for sure. Put them on in the afternoon, dude. It'll be great. I
For
think they
real.
should be like third act main stage, maybe.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree.
Jungle, we didn't love their last album, but they are absolutely gonna crush this spot and
Oh
deserve
yeah.
it, I think.
Yep.
Dom Dalla,
He's going
last year I became a certified Dom Dalla fan. I think I loved all three tracks that he dropped. I'm really excited for this.
Yep, he's gonna light up the Sahara tent. Good for him.
I am not excited for this Bleacher set, though. Are you?
Yeah, man, I like Bleacher's music.
Stop it.
You have such a hate boner for fucking Jack Antonoff. I get
Jackie.
it. I get it.
I also do not like Bleacher's music.
Yeah,
That
that's fair.
factors in as well.
That's fair.
Grimes will be there, or the AI version of her. We'll find out. No thoughts on that one. John Batiste could not care. Le
Yep.
Seraphim, fuck yes. Not enough K-pop on the lineup this year, but this is one of the acts that I am very happy to see get this spot. Personally, I would have loved XG. I think that they would have been a more dynamic show, but Le Seraphim is really, really good.
I think we're missing New Jeans on this lineup, sir.
New Jeans did Lala last year. I think they're in the studio this year. And I actually found out some information about that last New Jeans project that I'm excited to share with you. Um, we got Charlotte DeWitt. I'm not really familiar with this one. Are you?
Techno, well, drum code techno, business techno, if you will. She's going to be doing her overdrive set. I'd be surprised if she was in the Yuma. They'll probably put her in the Mojave for an audio video, like an audio visual set that she's bringing.
The most chaotic crowd EDM set of the weekend, I feel like, is going to be the ISO Knock debut of ISO Knock 4. They're both not artists that I'm overly familiar with. We've covered both of them to some extent. They make kind of throwback, really heavy in your face electronic dance music. It's fun. I like it. I don't necessarily love it, but I feel like the aesthetics of the crowd going fucking batshit to this is going to really bring in a lot of fans for them. What do you think?
Didn't I'm pretty sure that they pulled Fred again before Fred again did it and sold out like 6 nights at the fucking shrine, bro. Back to back to
Yeah.
back to back to back. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, there was a piece of merch Fred again did for his where it just kept saying again, again, again every
Right.
night that he sold it out. And then I think they did the bonus night and it's like written in at the bottom. It's pretty great. Let's see. We got Santa Fe Clon. Not really familiar with this. You?
Never heard of him.
Blast, a kind of hip hop R&B artist. He was on that last Kendrick album.
Yeah,
He's
we've
been
covered
on a
Blast's
couple
music.
albums. We covered, I think, his last album
Yep.
actually. That'll be interesting. Don't really know how I feel about it. Purple Disco Machine.
Gonna tear
This
it up.
could be, yeah, this could be interesting. I think he's obviously going to play all the hits. Maybe a Dark Horse special guest, Lizzo. I could see that happening.
That could be fun.
The Drums? I'm not really familiar with this. Pretty
Indie
high
band.
up on the card, though.
Indie
Okay.
band. Yeah, they're
Okay.
good.
We got two-thirds of Magnetic Man, Scream and Banga doing a set. That is going to be
This is probably
bliss for
the
all the EDM old heads like you and I.
Oh yeah, this is probably the wildest get that they've gotten. Like this
It's
is
up
gonna
there.
be crazy. This is gonna be crazy, bro.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be pretty nuts. Destroy Lonely, I've been seeing this name. I'm unfamiliar with their music.
Same.
Orbital. We've covered Orbital on this podcast. What did you think when
Yes.
you saw Orbital on here?
I think that it's deserved. I think they played Crossed or Portola last year. People couldn't stop talking about it on the interwebs that I could see, and yeah, man, they're legends. You know, they're up there with Underworld, and I think they're gonna have a good time.
Yep,
I think they're gonna. I think it's gonna be a good set.
I do too. Kevin Abstract. I did not like his last album. If this performance is going to be a majority of that, I don't really know I'll feel about it. If he's playing stuff off Georgia and stuff, I'll probably like it. I wonder if there will be any Brockhampton surprise at all, but strongly doubting it. Something to look out for though.
Right.
Biggest surprise by far that I saw in here was the Aquabats.
The fucking
This is
Aquabats, John.
this is a throwback to an era that I don't even think like most people my age remember, which is kind of crazy, dude. This is for seeing kids, this is the predecessor to Hello Goodbye, essentially. This is the SoCal surf
Yep.
rock semi-joke band, the Aquabats. They fucking rock. I think they're gonna be a lot of fun. I'm interested in seeing their crowd size though.
So I saw the Aquabats last in 2018, and they put on such a fun show. They get up on stage and they just have so much fucking fun, man. And everybody in the crowd has fun. This is going to be such a fun time. They're probably going to do it in the Sonora, which is cool because stage diving to the Aquabats is going to be fucking tight.
Yeah, you have to stage dive to the
Oh, for
Aquabats.
sure.
Kevin Carl, I'm unfamiliar with this act. You?
Unfamiliar.
Ray, we covered her last album last year. She is a great pop R&B star out of the UK. Her song Escapism has been blowing up for like a year and a half now.
Good for
That should
her.
be a really good show. The Red Pears, I'm unfamiliar with this
I
act.
believe this is a rock band.
Okay, there's more rock on the bill this year than in previous years. I'm surprised at how many of the acts that I don't know, and I'm also surprised at how many of them are rock acts.
Right.
Uh,
It's still less than previous years. I think a Reddit user, Nat Nav, I believe her name is. She likes to be called the data whore of the Coachella subreddit, and she did a lot of math. And I guess the lineup this year is 14% rock music, which is
hell
sick.
yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. I think that's a win.
Yeah, for sure.
Flow, three-piece R&B group we've covered on the podcast out
Yep.
of the UK. Really, really good. I'm excited to see them. The Blessed Madonna should be an interesting spot for them.
That'll be a good time. We saw the Blessed Madonna open for the Chemical Brothers in 2019.
This next one's going to be very, very, very interesting to see how they pull off. Hatsune Miku is, of course, an animated pop star from Japan. Very, very big there. I'm sure the crowd is going to be there for it. I'm just interested in seeing what stage they do this on. What was the one Magdalena Bay played on last year?
The Sonora.
I I think they should go Sonora for Miku. I think the lighting in there would be the best. It just might not be big enough.
It's just
Um,
an odd scenario with that one, man.
yeah, yeah, very odd. But I'm definitely gonna tune in if they're streaming it just to see what the fuck it is. Spinball. I don't know this one. Do you?
Nope.
Palace.
Don't know.
The Addicts.
Yes. The Addicts are a punk rock band
Yep.
that are just going to tear up the Sonora, man. I have a feeling that they're going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are a throwback. That should be a really interesting one. Really, really good get.
Yeah.
Another really good get. Twee,
Twee.
Vietnamese R&B star. You know I'm going to be first online to be in that like stream waiting area. Um, we got OPN. That's going to be an interesting set. I'm honestly surprised to see him so low on the billing.
I don't think they play much, do they? Does he?
Um,
I don't know,
I
but
I mean, he
it's
just had a new album come out. He scores a lot of movies and stuff. I don't know. Maybe he's bigger in my circle than I thought he was in the music world. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see OPN perform.
cool.
Young Fathers.
Rock band.
Yep, I've heard them. I remember like when their last album came out, giving it a shot. Just really wasn't for me. Kenya Grace, not familiar.
Not familiar.
Patrick Mason, not familiar.
Nope.
The Last Dinner Party, I know this name, but I could not tell you what they sound like.
Right.
Bar Italia, DJ set?
I don't know, man.
Reinier Zoenfeld? Is this techno? Please tell me this
I
is
have no
techno.
idea. I
It
have
can't
no
be
idea.
techno, then you would know. Saint Laurent, this is a French kind of R&B dude.
Fuck yeah.
Not a very big artist. That should be interesting. Mohammed, I have seen this name. Do not know what they sound like. Ame and Marcel Detman. That's going to be a fun set right
That
there.
is a cool get, man. I like that we're doing. I like that they're doing. It's not B2B, but I'm assuming that's what it will be behind the decks of the Yuma. That's going to be a crazy set.
Yeah, it really will be. Brutalismus 3000.
That
Very
is
unfamiliar with this.
very techno. That is a really cool get. He
It
does not.
sounds like
Yeah, he
it.
does not play live very often. I believe he's collaborated with Bradinsky a couple of times, so you can just judging by that, you can tell how weird the productions are. So I'm very
Yeah.
interested to see where they put him and what he does.
Yeah, it should be really interesting. Erica DeCassier. Fucking love Erica DeCassier. We'll be talking about her new single a little bit later in the episode.
Yep.
We got Girl Ultra. I know this name. Honestly, I cannot remember what it sounds like though.
Nope.
Can you?
Nope.
Maz.
Don't know.
Depression Sonora. I'm guessing this is a Latin act.
Yeah, I would assume.
Will Clark.
Don't know. I've seen the name though. Might be some
Military
house.
Gun.
Military Gun is a kind of like a Koyo band.
Okay. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so they're gonna be fun.
Rebuke.
Nope.
Indiana.
Mandy, Indiana.
Mandy,
I
Indiana.
think they're ambient music. I could be wrong though.
Be a fun way to start the day.
Right?
Uh, Kimonos.
No idea.
All right. Moving on to Sunday. We'll speed it up a little bit. We got Doja Cat headlining. Do you think this is what was holding it up?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. It could have been. It could have been the fourth headliner. But look, man, Doja Cat played in 2022 and she killed it. Like I was incredibly impressed with her set. It was a headlining performance before the sun went down. It was
She's
awesome.
she's a phenomenal performer. She is often in the headlines for things that detract from her art, but I do think that she will deliver if everything goes as planned.
Yep.
Uh, J Balvin, huge get for the Latin pop fans.
Huge.
Janae Aiko, um, does
Cor-
not perform a lot. This is kind of a big slot for her. She released a new song last week. I think we're headed towards a new album. Should be interesting though.
Yep.
Khruangbin, another group that announced a new album. You excited for this?
Yes. That's gonna be a cool show, man.
They have also collaborated with so many artists. There's a lot of different directions that show could go in.
Yeah, Leon Bridges is probably. I mean, I would
Yeah,
assume.
please fucking bring
Like,
Leon Bridges
I
out at
would
least
assume.
once. Karen Leon, I do not know this name. It's very high
Neither
up. You
do I.
familiar?
Second line, I have no idea who it is.
Interesting. Anima?
Obviously.
Ever heard of this guy?
Yeah, sure have. Non fucking stop.
Uh, I recommend if you plan on going to this one, try and get as close to the front as possible. Otherwise, you will be watching it through somebody else's cell phone.
Right?
John Summit, I'm excited for this. We've talked about John Summit's music enough on the podcast, but do you think that he's going to get like an outdoor stage spot, or do you think he's not quite there yet? This
No,
is
I
a
don't
pretty
think
big
he's there.
slot.
I don't think
You think
he's
he'll
there.
headline Sahara, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty fun, honestly.
Right.
Lil Yachty, not my favorite, but guys put out some good music. I don't hate it all. I think it'll probably be a fun set.
Yeah, it will be.
DJ Snake, I'm honestly surprised to see him so low on the second line. This is DJ Snake does not perform for like small amounts of people. I'm sure this is going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I have a feeling they'll put DJ Snake on the outdoor. He'll be a
Yeah.
really good time. Last time I saw him, he played Wonderwall.
Yeah, he's been kind of quiet for the past few years, but I think he's starting to get back. He has been playing some bigger shows lately. I think he did like a huge sold out one recently somewhere. I
Yep,
saw like footage from it and it was pretty bananas. Guy still has some weight for sure.
most definitely.
Ludmilla?
No idea.
Me either. The Rose?
No idea.
AP Dillon?
No clue.
Renee Rapp? She is the lead in that new Mean Girls The movie based on the musical, based on the movie, the least necessary adaptation I've ever seen. I nothing against her. I think she's probably a talented person. But no, I she released a song with Megan Thee Stallion, I think last week as part of that soundtrack. It didn't do anything for me, but good for her fans.
Right.
Baby Rexha, about as generic as pop music gets. I'm not very excited for that. Coil Ray, don't really care. Nav, do not care. Would not be surprised to see The Weeknd do a guest appearance there. Thames, that's going to be really good.
That's going to be pretty cool.
That's going to be good. Get your joints out for that one. Bicep, I know you're fucking. This was probably the moment where you're like, damn, am I buying a ticket to this?
Exactly.
I know you so well.
Yeah, Bicep is actually bringing their Chroma show to Coachella, and it actually is a DJ set. I don't think it's a live set, but it is supposedly going to have a lot of lasers, so that'll be fun.
Sign me up.
Right.
Victoria Monet, a lot of R&B this year. She is very, very deserving of this slot. That's going to be a great one. Taking Back Sunday. So the token scene act for the weekend, getting what the Blink 182 treatment.
No, so Blink was like the Friday of Coachella ad. They weren't on the lineup at all.
That is correct. I kind of forgot
So
about that in hindsight. But in terms of the nostalgia, the crowd that they are trying to excite with this on the card, the songs that obviously they're going to play, that is what they are being brought in to do, correct?
yeah, for sure.
They're get on stage, play cute without the E, get everyone to go fucking crazy. Do you think, and I had this conversation slash argument with my wife earlier. I was like, I think the used would have been a better pick for this slot. Personally, I think that we have reviewed so much like recent Taking Back Sunday music, and I think they have three albums that are incredible, but I do not think they are not necessarily contributing to the scene that they are being brought on this card to represent anymore. They make alternative rock more or less now. Bands like The Used, which maybe they weren't available, they kind of still carry the torch for this type of music. They draw similar crowds, if not bigger, than Taking Back Sunday, and they have a wider discography. If I don't know, it's all subjective, but what are your thoughts on that?
I think they used headlines festivals that Taking Back Sunday is on the undercard of. So I think it's, I think that what's funny though is that I think Taking Back Sunday is still known by the LA normies who go to Coachella more than the used might be.
Which I believe was her argument as well. Yes,
Yeah.
the kids.
Yeah. Yep.
The kids like Taking Back Sunday, apparently.
Yep.
Good for them. I guess those like backyard shows they did a month or two, the videos that got out of that did a lot of positive PR for them. 88 Rising Futures. I love 88 Rising as a record label. BB, there's some really great artists on there. That should be a fun show.
Yeah, I think so too.
Art Bat, that's going to be a really good set.
Yep. Gonna tear that Yuma tent up.
Adarashi Gakko is part of 88 Rising, so I was kind of surprised to see them both on the same day so close together, but should be good.
Yep.
Boy Harsher, that's an interesting set.
I think it'll be one of the most talked about sets of the weekend, man.
Late Night Sonara is my guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
One I'm very excited about. Barry Can't Swim. I've
Barry
been
Can't
listening to
Swim.
this dude a lot. His album from last year is fucking good
Yep.
shit, man. That's gonna be a really good kind of piano house set. We got Olivia Dean, R&B jazz vocalist. That's gonna be great. Latin Mafia. I know a few tracks of theirs. That's gonna be a really fun one. Two Show. I'm not really familiar with this.
Not
Do you know?
familiar.
Uh, Hermanos Gutierrez. I'm guessing this is like probably a Russian EDM act. We got Folamore. That's gonna be a fun set.
Yep.
Jockstrap. Not
Yeah,
familiar.
not familiar.
Carlita.
Not familiar.
Madao Mokhtar.
Not familiar. Although somebody recommended them to me on Reddit and I listened to them. They are like this cool, like desert post rock kind of stuff, I think from the Middle
Okay.
East. So that should be really cool.
All right. Eddie Zuko.
No idea.
Adam 10 and Mitagami. I'm guessing this is a set, DJ
I'm
set.
I'm assuming that they'll be in the Yuma, but I have no idea who they are.
YG Marley,
No clue.
Eli and Fur.
Eli and Fur, I believe, is on Afterlife. Afterlife is kind of taking over Coachella, man,
Okay. Yeah, good for them too.
for sure.
Uh, why is Flight Facilities so low on
So
Sunday?
low, man. Like what?
I honestly, I looked at the whole lineup when it came out, and then I saw them post, "Oh, we're playing Coachella." I was like, "Oh, that's cool. They're playing Heineken House or something." And I was like, "Oh shit, no, they're on the fucking lineup." This is
Yeah.
this is criminally low. I hope this is not indicative of the slot or amount of time they're given, because that's terrible. They don't even play America that much.
Right, exactly.
DJ Seinfeld, name I've been seeing a lot more recently. Seems like
Some
it'll be a
fun,
fun set.
yeah, some fun house music, man.
Tita Lau, unfamiliar.
Unfamiliar.
BB Tricks,
Unfamiliar.
Feeble Little Horse,
Unfamiliar.
Joplin,
Unfamiliar.
Juju.
I actually listened to them yesterday because my first thing when I do Coachella lineups is I go to the smallest name, and I always
Sure.
look them up because I think those artists deserve it. Um, yeah, they're really cool, man.
And the last one on the card is No Doubt. You think that's Sunday based on where they're out on the flyer?
So traditionally, the returning to the desert spot, which was Swedish House Mafia and then Calvin Harris, both of them played, I believe, on Saturdays. But it's actually been confirmed via the Coachella app that No Doubt is indeed playing on Sunday. I would be surprised if they went before Doja Cat, so we can assume that No Doubt will be closing out Coachella on Sunday evening.
This is also a reunion of No Doubt. They have not been active for some
I
time.
think 2015 was the last time they were around, so almost 10 years now.
And elsewhere, there will be the Heineken House, I'm sure. Dewlab is confirmed. That should
Yep.
be interesting. Of course, the lineup for Dewlab is never confirmed, so just go
Right.
if you're go if you're near it, have a good time.
Honestly, the
Um,
the Do Lab lineup doesn't fucking matter, man. Make that your first stop of the day. Get your fucking dance party in. Get wet a little bit, and then head out into the fields.
so we just ran through all of it, and there was a lot of I don't knows between us. Even though there was a lot of I don't knows, I still think it's a decent lineup. I don't think it's great. I think there's a lot of dead space on this that they could have filled with some more interesting acts, but I could be proven wrong. A lot of these artists could be great. I could just not know it yet. I am a 37-year-old white male. I am not in touch with every demographic and genre there is. So we'll see. I'm gonna go into it with an open mind. Overall, though, let's give it a letter grade each. What's yours?
Letter grade,
Yeah,
I'd go with a B plus.
I'm gonna go. Ooh, that's pretty high, man. I'm gonna go B minus.
I think a lot of Coachella lineups are A's for me, but this one was not that. We have it's missing a lot. It's missing some post punk, right? Idols, Proto
Yep.
Martyr, Fontaines DC, Viagra Boys, Shame Squid Geese, or fucking Mannequin Pussy. Like pick one of them and put them on the lineup. It's missing some proper techno, right? Like some Sven Vaith, Richie Houghton, Oscar Mulero.
Yep.
It's missing Troy Sivan, bro. Like for real. It's missing.
Ooh.
It's missing New Jeans.
Some
MG.
of these artists might not have just wanted to sign the radius clause,
Yeah,
though.
and that's possible, but the reality though is that there are less people this year. I think there's 14 less performers than last year, which hopefully bodes well for set lengths. So
Got to have more time to set up Frank Ocean's ice rink, man.
exactly.
All right, let's move into this week's episode. If this is your first time tuning in, what we do on this show is we run through all the new music that came out last week that we want to talk about. We go through about 20 singles each, couple EPs, a couple albums in that order as well. Give our thoughts on all of it. We try to timestamp it in the notes. If you don't have quite enough time to listen to the whole thing, you can check that for what you're interested in. Otherwise, have a good time. Let's start this week off with the Chris Lake remix of No Reason by the Chemical Brothers. I know you have some words on this, so please dive in.
This remix is actually pretty good, man. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but Chris Lake has been on a tear lately, so good for him. I still prefer the original version far better, but I like the little sprinkle of the 303, and the way he used the bass line on that last drop is great, kind of coming in before the kick drum was really cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely inferior to the original. I'll give you that. I don't think he changed it up enough. It still just kind of sounds like No Reason to me.
Right,
I don't really hear the Chris Lake flip on the song or take on the song.
right.
Um, got a new one from Subtronics and Rez called Black Ice. Absolute banger. You enjoy this one?
I love that this track is 420, like it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds long. It goes real hard. Lots of old school dubstep influence on this one. Can't wait for the album.
Yeah, Rez's new album, Can You See Me, comes out March 14th. She has said it is her heaviest yet. Can't wait to find out what that means. Got a new one from Lee Foss, Skanka, and The Connect called Worship Technology. How are you digging this one?
It has been a while since I've heard a track of Lee Foss. I thought about him like a couple of weeks ago, and it turns out I was not following him on Spotify, which is funny. Turns out he hasn't changed his style at all. Lyrics are a little cringe, but the production is top notch, and I love the bass line.
Yeah, dude, it's a really good track. The second half, that after that second drop is insane.
Insane. Yeah.
Really good stuff. Got the Jonathan Kaspar remix of Hand in Hand by Tyga and Kolsch. Love the tone on this one. I did want a little more from it, maybe in terms of the progression, but I enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, this was an instant add to the playlist, man. I have been loving Jonathan Kaspar's music for like the last year or so, and this remix is no different. I think it's a great reinterpretation of the original mix, but the original one is better.
Yeah, I agree. We got the song everybody's been talking about this week, the new one from Ariana Grande, the first single off her upcoming album. The single's called Yes and it's fine. It's more house revivalism similar to like Vogue by Madonna, Break My Soul by Beyonce. If you're digging that whole vibe that pop music's going through right now, you'll probably enjoy this one. Are you digging that?
Look, man, just because she fucked SpongeBob doesn't mean that we need to be caring about whose dick she rides, as according to her in this song. She's always had balls. I'm glad that she is always herself. I'm glad we have an album to look forward to. I actually liked the song. It's fun. It's bouncy. She's got this air of I don't give a fuck, and I think that always really works for her.
She's going in a direction that isn't entirely original, but she's also put out two mostly stripped down R&B albums back to back. So her going in more of a housey dance pop direction for an album or two doesn't really bug me. I kind of like it switching things up versus getting stale.
Nice.
All right, we got a new one from Bizarre Rap and Young Miko called Bizarre Rap Music Session Volume 8. I believe that is just what it sounds like. He does a different session with a different artist for each one of these. I told you last week when you were like, I wanted a little more from that Carol G track. I was like, I think this one's going to give you what she was missing. Am I right?
Oh, you were most definitely right, man. This track is great. I love the piano. I love the
Yeah.
flows. I gotta learn Spanish.
Yeah, dude. Young Miko kills this one too. Just
For sure.
effortless surfing over the incredible production. Like you said, those keys. It's a really good track.
Yep.
Got a new one from one of my favorite up and coming pop artists, Lola Young. This track is called Wish You Were Dead. She's been previewing it on social media for a while, and I've been awaiting its release. She came on late last year as a strong contender for Pop Album of the Year, followed it up with the single Conceited, and now appears to show no signs of stopping with this one. It's sharp, well written. Her unique vocals do an excellent job of just tying the room together on this one. I'm sure we'll be getting a new project from her at some point this year, but no idea when. Whenever it is, though, it's already shaping up to be a classic. Did you like this one?
Yeah, I absolutely love the instrumentation on this track, man. The guitar and the bass lines are great. Lola kills it. Great song.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. I was kind of bummed to not see her on the Coachella lineup this year.
Yep.
Got a new one from Zayn called Hooked. I don't think we've talked about her in about a year or so now. Trilingual R&B powerhouse. Zayn just gets better with every song she releases. Like I said, we reviewed a few of her tracks last year and liked both of them, but I don't think she put out much after the early part of the year. She's back with this one, and I think it's her best hook to date. All the verses are somehow just as catchy as the hook as well. It's a really, really good song. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, was this recorded in like 1998? This sounds like
Somehow, yeah,
like straight up, man.
in
This is
Mariah Carey's womb.
yeah.
Yep.
This was a fucking throwback, man. This is great.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. We got a new one from Erica DeCassier called Lucky. She is a force to be reckoned with. Dropped one of the best R&B albums of 2021. Dropped one of the best pop features of 2022 with Muramasa. And I just found out she co-wrote one of the best K-pop albums of 2023 with New Jeans. We hear her using a little more of the hyper pop style that she's been experimenting with, and I think it suits her voice and style well. Along with the release of the new track, she did announce a new album still that'll be dropping next month. So we have more to digest soon. But I had no idea that she co-wrote like four of the songs on the last New Jeans EP. That's fucking
Hey,
wild.
that's awesome.
Yeah, to be like an obscure R&B artist and kind of have a multi-platinum EP writing credit on you, it's pretty wild, dude. And I like that her last album, while I don't think we reviewed it on the podcast, is a much quieter R&B album. This has a little bit more of that hyper pop feel, and I think we're gonna get more of that on the new album.
Yeah,
Um,
I think drum and bass is going to have a fun year in 2024, man, because the production on this is real breaky, you know, real
yep.
breaky. We've got some drum and bass, some great percussion. I really loved this song.
I think pop and R&B producers do watered down drum and bass better than they do dubstep because when we went through that whole phase where they were trying to jam dubstep into modern pop songs, it sounded awful, but even the most stripped down versions of drum and bass just sound great with the right artists, you know?
Yeah, totally agree.
All right, man. New one from Lil Nas X, J Christ. On one hand, it sounds like he had Chat GPT try and reproduce Humble by Kendrick, but not so much that your teacher catches you for cheating. On the other hand, it's a pretty fun pop rap track that most people wouldn't be bothered by if it wasn't Little Nas X, but God are they. Are you in the middle on this one? Where are you at?
I've always liked Lil Nas X's music, man. This is no different. I see drama and stuff with like his music videos and the shit he does to like get into the headlines again, and I could
Sure,
not be bothered to care at all about it. This track is great.
same. Got a new one from Benny the Butcher called Braun. Are you a fan of this one?
Benny is quickly becoming one of the best in the game right now, man. His output is crazy. The quality of his projects is consistent. I love it. I love this track, man. It's great.
We have gotten some incredible cocaine rap albums from Pusha T, Freddie Gibbs, Maxo Cream, and even Benny himself in recent years, so the bar is very high when it comes to delivering. But if anybody can do it, it's him.
Most definitely.
All right, this one's kind of unexpected, but I threw it on here because I couldn't help but enjoy it, man. It's Faye Webster and Little Yachty, their new track Lego Ring. File this under collabs that should not work, but do. I didn't even know they were friends until this track came out, but after hearing it a couple of times, man, it kind of all makes sense in a really odd way. It's not a track I thought I'd gravitate towards at all, but I'm enjoying it whenever it comes on. We'll be getting more Faye soon. Her new album, Underdressed at the Symphony, is scheduled to be released March 1st. I'm pretty excited for that one. What about you?
Yeah, man. I personally don't think that she benefits from Lil Yachty's appearance on this song, but it has not dampened my excitement for her album. The song is interesting. I'll say that.
You've never taken a walk to Poland, and that shows, Brandon. All right, we got a new one from The Smile called Friend of a Friend. I do not care what you say, man. This one is fucking beautiful. I know Tom isn't your thing, but you're just gonna have to deal with it because I love this and I will force you to listen to it until you do as well, like a real friend would.
They're trying so hard to be the Beatles here, man. This song is so
What the
obnoxious.
fuck are you talking about? No.
I love experimental stuff. You know that. I love stuff with weird time signatures. This wasn't for me. I wrote that, and then I came back and I said, I will say that I liked it better and better on every subsequent listen. So maybe at one
It's
point
the
I will really
details,
enjoy
man. The
it.
way the way the fucking snare kind of like drags in the first half when the strings and keys come in. Tom's just floating on it. It's great. I can't wait for the new album. You're gonna have to listen to it whether you
I
want to
will.
or not.
I'm gonna give it a good
Oh, you
listen. You know I
will.
will. You know I
You will.
will.
Clockwork Orange style. I will make you listen to that fucking album. All right. We got a new one from Ride called Peace Sign. I'm not too familiar with Ride, so educate me.
I mean, they make this kind of music. I love the sound, man.
Well put.
I've been a fan of this band for a minute. The lyrics are a little cringy, but they've been a band for like 25 plus years, so it's probably hard to write music like you used to, you know. But
Sure.
I love the album art on this, and I think we have a new album coming. I could be wrong, but I'm very interested to hear it.
Yeah, I've been seeing their name on some music sites the past week or two, and with the release of this song and the announcement of their new album, I don't really have any knowledge of them beyond that. My first impression is good though. I'm getting some like 80s pop rock meets indie surf rock vibes, a little bit of shoegaze in there. Didn't really blow me away, but I enjoyed
That's
what I heard.
that's exactly it. Good job.
Hey, I get a gold star.
You sure
All
do.
right. Got a new one from Blanket called Ceremonia. Are you a fan of this?
Yeah, I don't know where I found this band, but I love this song, dude. I went back and I listened to their album from 2021, and it's real good. I think it's, I don't know what
Okay.
it is, but I really dig it. What do you think?
Dude, first time hearing them, I really like the sound. Good riffs. I like the screams. It's all good stuff, man.
Yep.
Got a new one from Bring Me the Horizon called Kool-Aid. I actually think the singles for this rollout are getting better as it goes, but the rollout itself has taken too long at this point. From what I understand, they pushed the new project back because they wanted to add more new songs that they hadn't released as singles yet. Releasing another one of them as a single seems very counterintuitive to that thought process, but maybe I don't know the full story. The track itself is good. I like it as much as I've liked the others, I suppose. I just hope at this point they package these past few years of singles together into an album so that they can clean this chapter of their career up a little bit for my own OCD's sake. But that said, I think the track is it's good. It's catchy. What do you think of it?
I really like this one, man. Goes real hard.
Yeah, it is a little closer to the metalcore that they did in like the 2010s than the more pop rocky stuff,
I
right?
I like it when they do this.
Yeah, we're never getting deathcore back again, so when they go more metalcore, I think you and I tend to enjoy it.
Yep, for sure.
Why can't they get deathcore again now? All right, we got a new one from Bloom called You and I. For a metalcore band, this is a little light on the metal. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, it is.
Like it's very well written and performed. It's a good song, but I was anticipating something a little heavier.
Metal's getting softer lately.
What's with that?
I don't know, man.
Did you enjoy this one?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I had a feeling you really enjoyed this next one even more, and that's the new one from Caligula's Horse, The Storm Chaser.
God, man, Jim's voice is just shining on all of these singles. Uh, this album might be my most anticipated of 2024.
I, yeah, I don't think that's even a question at this point. Maybe the Darkest Hour one we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, we've reviewed a few albums in our time doing this podcast that we've agreed are masterpieces within the prog metal genre. I do not want to speak too soon, but every track we've gotten during this album rollout makes me think that we're about to get another.
Yep, I agree.
Got a new one from Darkest Hour called
Oh, it's so good to
Societal
hear that.
Bile. Dude, this is fucking great. The single they dropped last year is like the first lead single for this new album is great. They just crushed it. This is easily my most anticipated metal album behind Job for a Cowboy right now. What about you?
Yeah, song of the week, thrashy and chaotic. They
Yes.
pull it together and organize it just to break it all down again. I fucking love that we had new singles from some of my favorite bands right now, right next to each other this week. It really tied the vacation week together, you know?
As it should. Got a new one from Aborted and Despised Icon. What a sentence. This one's called Death Cult. Hard as fuck. The busy sections of the track are great, but that breakdown in the middle really makes it for me. What about you?
Aborted is one of those bands, man, that just makes me laugh with how heavy they are. The song
Hmm.
bangs, obviously. I also love how like metal musicians are all like featuring on each other's shit lately. I've noticed an uptick on that, and I really love collaboration. Those layered vocals on the with from like the deep aborted vocalist with the highs from the despised icon vocalist just hit right on this one, man.
Yeah, metal acts have been doing a lot more collaboration this decade than in previous years.
Maybe
I think
one
we
day
should
we'll
credit
get
Health.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll start getting like diss tracks from Slaughter to Prevail, or
You know, if we get a diss track, it's gonna be from fucking Ronnie Radke of Falling in Reverse. There's no
oh
other
man,
one that's gonna do
I
that.
just sent you that tweet that I had no idea that him and Vince Staples had words on Twitter. He called him Ronald. Ah.
If there's ever a guy you do not want to have words with on Twitter, it has been Staples. All right, we got one more single this week. It is Defocus's new song Flatlines. This whole song is great, but that last 30-second breakdown, dude,
Dear
one of my
God.
favorite parts on the playlist all week. It is so fucking good.
Man, I think their last album kind of fell flat for us, but everything that they've released since has been banger after banger. I love this one. It's heavy, it's structured really well. The variance in the vocals is fantastic. And then, like you said, that last 30 seconds of the track is just incredible. It really is.
Dude, I agree. Really, really good. All right, we got a few EPs this week. We got one from Samaria called Even Paradise Reigns. I don't really know what my expectations for this project were, but she surpassed them. Tightrope was a great single, still probably my favorite track on here, but that two-song run of Three Rings and Forevermore is great. Her vocal performance on Best Thing for Me left me floored. I love this project. What about you?
Yeah, Samaria can fucking get it. This whole EP is an experience, man. It takes you through some of the best modern production in R&B that I've heard in a long time. The bass lines, the strings, the pianos, the way the vocals just absolutely take over the song, even with all this gorgeous production behind it, is insane. I love this project, man. This is really good shit.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't get slept on. It is very worthy of some attention.
Yeah, I sure hope not.
Speaking of worthy of attention, we got one from Slip Hypnotic called Muddy Mustache. This EP fucking rules, dude. Thank you so much for showing it to
It's
me.
so good, right?
Dude, it's great. The low end on the title track just hooked me right away. It's a great opener, does a great job setting the stage for the rest. Hard to pick a favorite among these four, but parentheses just hits different, man. That's the
Yeah.
one for me. What about you?
Oh man, yeah. I've been listening to this EP like every day, bro. The production style is extremely unique. It is released on Xenon Records. We've covered a number of their
Okay.
releases, and it has some of the most. They have a lot of interesting releases on their roster, and I think that this fits very well into the label's discography. It's weird, it's dissonant, it's unique, it's bassy, it's fucking awesome. I loved this.
Yeah, definitely made me hit follow for sure.
Sick.
Are you ready to move on to the albums this week?
I sure am.
All right, man, let's dive in, starting with the new one from 21 Savage called American Dream. For me, it's both better and worse than I thought it would be. The moments where it's just 21 rapping over some chopped up soul samples like he does on All of Me or Letter to My Brother are decent. The little R&B suite of tracks near the end of the album featuring Summer Walker and Brent Faiyaz are enjoyable for me. I even like Doja's verse and her hilarious choice of ad-lib for her ad-libs. But that's kind of where my appreciation for this one ends. If it was my thing, the repetition wouldn't bug me so much, but I feel like I've heard all this album has to offer within the first few minutes of it, or first few tracks, I should say. I like both him and Metro a lot more than I did a few years ago, but their collabs don't really excite me. And to throw a line as bad as "It Smell Like Gas," I think somebody pooped on this album, just shows how low the standards for it are. I'm giving it a 4. My standout is either All of Me or NHIE. What did you think of the new one from 21 Savage?
You know what's funny, man, is that when I listened to this album the few times that I did, I actually felt it drag and drag and drag. But every time I checked how long it was, it's only 49 minutes. I guess it's
Somehow.
just
Yeah.
too much 21 Savage for me in one sitting. There's a
Yeah.
few good tracks here, man, and some that I'll probably actually return to throughout the year. Red Rum, I think, is great. Dangerous is a good track. I think Dirk really shines on this one. I actually like Travis Scott's verse on Nina as well. I cannot believe the poop bar on Pop Your Shit. I guess if you don't have a poop bar, you're not like a real rapper, right? Lil Wayne's got one.
Terrible. Terrible. Lil Wayne probably has an album of them at this point.
Oh man, Just Like Me is really cool as well. I think Burna Boy does pretty good on it. Summer
Yeah.
Walker kills her verse on Prove It. I think Dark Days is a really good way to close the album out. I think I liked it about as much as I disliked it. And I just think that it's a lot of 21 Savage for me.
Yep.
I
21.
also, right. How many times do you think 21 Savage has called you a pussy?
Drink every time he calls you a pussy.
No, that's the blackout challenge, man. I even think he trimmed a lot of the fat off, and there's like still a lot of fat on there. It's a 5 for me. Red Rum or Dark Days is my favorite. Metro.
Fair. Moving on to the new one from Kali Uchis called Orquídeas. It's perfect, dude. This is everything I wanted her to do on this album. Her voice is angelic, her writing is impeccable, the production is outstanding, and the visuals have all been top notch as well. Simply put, we are witnessing one of the greatest pop stars of all time in their prime doing what they do best. I wasn't expecting her to drop another 10 so soon, but here we are, dude. She said in the Zane Lowe interview this week that she already has another album done and ready to go for later this
That's
year.
ridiculous.
I can't even begin to wrap my head around that though, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around this album. Masterpiece is kind of an understatement for me here. We've reviewed a lot of Latin pop albums that we've loved, but we always say some shit about the language barrier holding us back from being able to fully appreciate the art that we're reviewing. That is not the case here for me at all. And no, I did not learn Spanish. This is not an album you need to know Spanish for to fully understand or appreciate, in my opinion. Every track is so carefully crafted and full of its own unique personality that it's easy to comprehend the feeling she's conveying just by listening to the music itself. The production team on this one deserves just as many kudos as she does. It sounds as lush and as inviting as you would imagine for a new Cali project, and it's so tightly sequenced that it's essentially seamless, which is always major bonus points for me. As I said, I'm giving it a 10. My favorite track is all of them, but since we reviewed a few as singles, uh, my favorite of the newer tracks we got, the opener, Como Si, of course, Mi Pongo Loca, Igual que en un Hell with Peso Pluma is incredible. Young, Rich, and Love just for like the R&B Cali heads in there, but man, the combo closer of Dame Beso and Movete just going full fucking mariachi insanity is beautiful. I love it. This is my album of the week. Igual que un anhel with Peso Pluma is my song of the week. This is perfect, man. I fucking loved it. What did you think of it?
Great review, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a gorgeous album. You kind of said it all, but I have to say, man, she must have put so much time and attention to every little detail on this project. So
Yeah.
first of all, her voice is fucking beautiful on this album throughout. She doesn't miss any inflection. She hits every note, and her personality is all over this thing. The bass line on Igual que un Angel is so good. Peso Pluma kills his verse. Every track has these like little flourishes in the production that just hit so right. It's like every song that came on after the next was as beautiful as the one preceding it.
Somehow.
There
Yep.
is one track that I didn't like, which we talked about, Muñequita, which I didn't like when it released as a single, but upon subsequent listens, I actually don't skip it. I just don't feel like it fits on the album for me, at least. Seems a little out of place, but it is fun for sure. It's a beautiful album. It'll be in rotation all year for sure. It is also my album of the week, but it's a 9 for me, man. I think Te
Fair.
Mata is still my favorite.
Goddamn. The one song she has a producer credit on, too.
Beautiful, beautiful song.
Yeah, I was very shocked to hear her bring up a new finished album already. And at first I was like, oh, she's working on a new album, blah, blah, blah. No, she like starts to go in detail, like, oh yeah, it kind of sounds like my first project before this, and it's got like I'm like, good Lord, like give us a second to process the album you just released.
It's impressive, man. And I think when you're an artist and you find a creative pocket, I think to not explore that fully is something that you would regret. So I
I
think as an artist, I think she's really just found her pocket, and over the last few years, has just been straight killing it.
I don't know if we've even texted about it, but you do know that she is like fully pregnant right now, and that was just like announced like this last week.
No, congratulations, Kali
Yeah, she
Uchis.
released a music video for Two Cortisone, and it's her and Don Toliver, the
Yeah.
baby daddy.
Oh, fun.
It's a really, really, really good video. She is very, very far along. Like she's been keeping this a secret for a minute. I think that's probably why she's going to be absent from a lot of the festival circuit earlier this year, but I wouldn't be surprised to see her do a tour late in the year.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations to both her and Don.
Yes, we need to send her a bib or something from Brandon's face. All right. We got a new album from Kid Cudi called Insano. I could come into this review trying to bitch about the little things I did not like about this album, but I'd be a damn liar if I said I didn't have a really fun time listening to it all week. I love the more bass heavy direction he went with the production on this one. I love the choices for features to complement his style. I think Travis sounds better on this album than he does on his own. We got Rocky taking shots at Drake. We got Wayne being Wayne. But for all the big name features, Cudi's the one that kind of steals the show time and time again. He sounds rejuvenated. Of course, songs like At the Party are going to be a banger with guys like Pharrell on it. But tracks like A Tale of a Night are powered sheerly by Cudi's charisma and creativity alone. The runtime and amount of tracks on here are my only gripes I feel strongly enough to bring up, but I consider this a return to form for him and an album I have no problem revisiting. I'm going to give it a 7. My standout is At the Party. What about you?
So I've been pretty vocal about really only liking Kid Cudi on his like Man of the Moon shit.
Hmm.
This is apparently just a hard rule for me at this point. I feel like this project was pretty off base for what I think of when I think of Cudi and his music. It's a little bloviating, a little braggadocious. It's Travis Scott worship is really what it is. It's decent though. I don't
It
think I'll be
wears its
coming.
influences on its sleeve for
Oh,
sure.
for sure. A couple of things I do like. The production on this album is honestly fucking great. And I understand not wanting to trim some fat off because the beats are just so good. It's like heavy at times, it's experimental at times, and it really is kind of like a throwback to like the Kanye production days, you know,
Hmm.
with whom Travis Scott also takes a lot of influence from. I love DJ Drama, man. Love the Rocky verse. When are we getting an album from him? I actually really like the X and Cud track. It actually sounded like he was doing his Man on the Moon stuff there. Lil Wayne's verse is Lil Wayne's verse. It's fine. It's just not good for the 3 or 4, you know, the 3 to 5 tracks that I like. The production, plus the production on most of it, I think that brings it to about a 5 for me. Maybe a little under, but I'll give it a 5. Standout, it's going to be X and Cud. I actually really liked that Triple Extension song.
I had a feeling we'd be a little off on this one, and
Yeah.
that's okay. Do you think Pharrell's voice is ever going to age? Do you think when he's like 90, he's still going to sound like, I was just there at the party? It still sounds like he's 18 years old when I hear him on this hook. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, I hope so. I'm not gonna
Uh,
lie.
I love his producing so much, man.
Yeah, no, he
All
does a
right, we
great
got a
job.
new album from the Vaccines, Pickup Full of Pink Carnations. Talk to me about this one, Brandon.
Man, I feel like I haven't listened to the Vaccines in like a long time, but they were one of those bands that like I really liked from afar. I dove into like a little bit, and I liked everything that I heard, but I like never closely followed them.
Hmm.
Seems like it's kind of the remnants of the 2010s indie rock scene, and I'm really glad that they're still kicking it because I kind of needed an album like this week. It's nice, it's bright, it's breezy, it's full of poppy hooks and choruses. It's a great album, dude. I think they really hit the nail on the head for me on this one. Strong lyrical content, really strong songwriting. There's strong melodies throughout. It's I was doing chores through this song, great for it. It was especially perfect though. I was rolling through the desert, sun is shining, shades are on, windows down. This album was just perfect for that kind of late afternoon drive, man. There isn't a
Can't
song on.
relate. We're coming to you live from Portland, Oregon.
Sorry, bro. There isn't a song on this thing I didn't like, man. I listened to it like a dozen times. It's a really breezy 40-minute listen. Primitive Man is my standout. I'm gonna give this one an 8, bro. What'd you think?
It's okay. I don't think I'll ever enjoy a new album of theirs as much as I enjoyed English Graffiti or Combat Sports, but they still deliver more often than not. I'd say they delivered on this one, but it's nothing new. I think they're in this kind of the Killers like phase of their career right now, using old formulas to try and make new hits. They're still finding success with it, so I doubt they're going to mix it up anytime soon. So while I found this project to be good, I also found it to be a little bit stale after a while. I'm going to give it a 6 though. My standout was Heartbreak Kid.
Cool.
All right, man. Talk to me about this Iron Front album.
I threw this one on, man, because it was kind of a slow week and I was already planning on listening to it, but I really wasn't prepared to like it as much as I did. It's a pretty easy death slam album, and there are basically no frills at all on this thing, man. It's bare bones slamming death metal. I love it. Crushing breakdowns, dirty vocals, trash can snares, breakdown callouts, TV show samples, the whole nine. Big fan of this. 7 out of 10. Dissolved in Resin though is it's a banger, man. What'd you think about this one?
Yeah, man, this fucks. It kicks off with Dissolved in Resin and does not let up from there. It's the type of DIY death metal I can fuck with. It's fun with all the blast beats, the squeals, but it's also very technically sound, which isn't what I was expecting from an album with a song title Burned by a Crack Pipe on it. But never judge a book by its cover, I guess. Speaking of the sample at the start of the track, they kind of remind me of Kill Whitney Dead, which is a band
A
like
little
I don't
bit.
think we've ever talked about on the podcast. We'll save that for another day. But like getting back on track, I thought this album was really, really good. I'm gonna give it a 6. My standout is Dissolved in Resin, because how could it not
Right,
be?
it's real good, man.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for throwing this one on.
Absolutely.
All right, that does it for us this week. Be sure to tune in next week. We got new albums dropping from Green Day, Neck Deep, Slater Kinney, Umi, Zoo. We'll be talking about all sorts of fun stuff. Should be a lot of fun. If you can't wait till then for more Brandon's Face content, you can find us on social media at Instagram and Reddit. Just search Brandon's Face Pod. And to keep up with all the music that we will be reviewing next week, follow along with our weekly rotating playlist. We will be updating it as soon as we're done recording here. You can find the link to that in the show notes below. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.